Good morning. Helen Chin Lu here, certified reflexologist, certified energy medicine practitioner, the owner of the Healing Place and the Healing Place Energy School. Isn't this a glorious, beautiful summer morning? And here we are, starting a little bit earlier. I wanted to do this before I went into the office to see clients today. So let's continue with our series about how we give away our powers, our healing powers. So the last 2 days we talked about addictions. Yesterday we talked about how to break repetitive, destructive patterns. And today we're going to talk about financial challenges and how we could attract abundance into our lives. So one of the things that I want you to really think about is everybody has to think about money. We don't make enough, we want more. There's a few of us who have too much, we don't know what to do with it. So what is it that we are trying to do is to track the energy so we could live on the right amount and attract the right amount. So one of the things I want you to start looking at is stop blaming your circumstances if you don't have enough. Don't think about, it's the economy, I can't make any more because I don't have the education, I don't have the skill set, I'm stuck in a job that is just tedious. One thing about energy, money energy, is you got to stop the blaming game and up your energy so you can attract it. Because if you're constantly in the blame circumstances, what you're projecting out there is negative energy. And so, in fact, you're repelling money instead of attracting it. So it all depends on where you put your energy in order to bring in energy, money into your circumstances. So what's really going to be important is, what is your attitude about money? So let's go over some points. How do you view money or finances? Money is usually very deeply rooted into your family. So you will learn about money depending on your parents, your grandparents, whoever is close to you, how they influence you and view money. I'm going to give an example of my family. My mother grew up in a war-torn country where the Japanese invaded China back in the 30s. So she lived for many years scarce. In fact, to the point where she barely had enough to live. And coming to a married to my father, she's learned to be very frugal all of these decades. Even though she lived in America now for 65 years, she still cannot spend. It's so funny, I was having a conversation with her the other day, and she's telling me why we all have to save money. So I asked my mom, what are you saving your money for? She's 87 years old, give or take a year or two. What are you saving your money for? Because she has all the comforts of a home, and she still cannot, she does not feel comfortable spending money. And nor is she comfortable sharing her money. So one of the things I asked my mom, what are you saving for? You have everything. I did not know why she was saving her money, because she's gotten into such a habit of hoarding her money just in case she has a bad day. So, and from that money hoarding, I look at all the things she lacks in her life. She lacks companionship, she lacks, in many ways, love from her family, and she does not know why. So one thing about money, let me emphasize, money is nothing more than just energy. What comes around goes around. And if you believe money is, like I put out a questionnaire yesterday, if you believe money is evil, only rich people who they're rich because they're dishonest and they have stolen from other people. And if you have that hoarding mentality, it's really difficult. So if you don't, let's go through the questionnaires just in case. Is money evil or dirty? Is money sexy? is money powerful? If you had more money, would you be embarrassed? You know, think about honestly, what do you think of money? Do you repel money because money has responsibility that's attached to it? It has attachment to it, and one thing about money is, here, I lost my screen. So do you want to repel it? Do you want to roll in it? Let me tell you my personal views about money. It's, just to change the subject slightly, money is just a really hard topic to talk about, especially if you're embarrassed by money, if you don't have enough to live on. It doesn't make you feel like a beggar or a victim. So this energy, if you feel like there's a lack, you actually project this energy out of your body. And if you go around never going to have enough, then what happens with energetically, the money, as I mentioned before, is nothing but energetically moves through the universe, and you want money to come back to you in a circular motion, you have to be able to spend money in order to attract money. And you're going, but Helen, I don't have enough money. I barely have enough just to get by. Spend a little bit more. Spend as much as you are comfortable with. So let's say if you only have, I don't know, you've exhausted your budget for the week, you have an extra $5. Take that $5 and do something with it. You could say a blessing, you could do anything to put it out there and give it away, or even buy yourself something or share with your family. If you become a money hoarder, what happens is not only you're hoarding the energy, money energy, but you're also hoarding positive energy. I'm hoping this makes sense to you. You know, feel free to ask me questions as we're talking, because I could go on forever, okay? So as money is really quite important. Let me see. Now I'm trying to find my screen. I lost something in the nearby. So you got to be okay with money. And if you feel like money is associated with power, and if you don't make enough, remember, come back to that victim mentality. So how would you feel if you had more money? Because I think about those people who I've met all kinds of people in my life, and I meet people every single day from all walks. I have no judgment of where they are, what they have. I think everyone should be comfortable in their skin and not be uncomfortable if you don't have enough. So money has always been associated with power. The more money you have, people have more of a tendency to listen to you. And the less you have, you feel like really small. So one of the things I have learned about money in my experience, since my mom has downloaded the scarcity of money in each and every one of us, I think about how, I think 2 years ago, I had a mental crash, emotional crash, where I was really worried about my business of it taking off. And what I didn't even realize what I was doing, I was radiating desperate energy. So what that desperateness is doing to everybody who's coming to me, even though I don't verbally say anything about it, people could feel energy. Everybody could always feel energy, even if they don't know exactly what it is. So right at that moment, I made a personal decision I was going to change my money patterns. I've learned to not to feel guilty about spending money. That's one. Two, I finally realized in all of my years, the way I felt about money is the way my mother feels about money. We grew up in two different circumstances, environment. I'm very blessed. I've never had to run for my life. I've never had to fear for my life. I've never been homeless, and I have never been hungry. So one of the things that I was thinking about, our energetic DNA. We all have energetic DNA. And I finally had an aha moment and say, you know what? I have never experienced any of these things. I don't believe, unless I choose to give it away, I'm never going to be homeless or hungry. And in that aha moment, I finally realized I will always have enough money to live on, and even more, surplus. In fact, I like to donate money when I can, and I do that frequently, my husband and I. So we're blessed that way. So look how you radiate what I call money energy. And how does that serve you? So let me tell you how to reclaim your money energy, your finance power. I'm going to teach you. These are what I call my 6 steps. Since money is nothing more than just energy that moves circular. As you touch it, you'll pass it on. And then in today's society, we don't actually see money anymore. We see credit cards, debit cards, electronic. Like today, I'm just amazed, like checks. I don't even have to go to the bank to be able to deposit a check. So that money is energetically circulating through the universe. And remember, money only has meaning because we put meaning on it. If we didn't put a meaning on money, what will money mean? Probably absolutely nothing, just a piece of paper. So as it moves from hand to hand, just think about how it touches from one person's life to another. You imprint that energy on the money, somebody will pick it up and they'll feel your energy, but they don't know exactly why, all right? So that's something else we could talk about in another workshop. 3, accept all level of abundance, no matter how big or how small. I think about those people who get a lot of money all at once, like athletes, or people, here's a good example, people who win the lottery and they're really uncomfortable about money. Sometimes they can't get rid of it fast enough because they're embarrassed about having money, because money gives them a different image. And then they get so worried, how are they going to support this image? Because money represents an idea that you should look and feel in a different way. To me, whatever you've been imprinted with money, if whatever's been imprinted with you about money will carry you throughout your life. 4th, let go of attachment, how you spend your money. And don't feel guilty about it. I was just talking to a relative just last week, and here's a man who's been frugal all of his life. And he doesn't have any children. Yes, he has a wife. And he finally allowed himself to splurge on himself by buying a pair of shoes that he just loved. And most importantly, he didn't feel guilty about it. That's key. You cannot feel guilty, because we're all apt to spend money on our family, but not on us. So let's talk about the law of attraction. I think for those people who are aware of the law of attraction, I think there's something that went on about in around 2000. Law of attraction says if you ask, eventually you'll get. Well, that's not necessarily true. Why? Your energy has to match the vibration of money. So if you're asking for, let's say, $2 million, if your vibration does not match what you want, in some way it gets canceled out. Because somewhere in the back of your head, you feel like you don't deserve it, you're never going to get it. Who are you to get it? So you got to change those statements. Instead of saying, I wish, put, I will. You'll be surprised how powerful those 2 words are, I will. Because wishing and hoping is nice, but wishing and hoping is not going to get you anywhere, okay? So it's up to you. Number 6, Reprogram your mind to accept abundance. If you believe you're not going to have enough, you will never get enough. I remember a few years ago in my practice, once in a while I get a client who wants to give me a tip, and a financial tip after my service. And I usually don't accept tips because I am a professional service. I'm not a spa service. And all of a sudden I hear God jumped into my head. It could be a spirit guide, but most likely it was God. And he said to me, assume it is a he, Helen, why are you rejecting abundance? I literally stopped in my tracks for that whole minute and thought about it as I was talking to a client. And God was saying to me, by rejecting abundance, you're rejecting your life. Isn't that an odd way of viewing it? I just thought it was so incredibly fascinating. So now when somebody wants to give me a tip, I bless them, I thank them for the blessing, and learn how to accept abundance with grace. So I could go on this subject forever, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. And then if you want to hear more about it, I am more than glad to go into more in depth. So this is my mantra. This is a money mantra, a financial mantra. This is something you got to say in your head, in your soul, until you say it enough times until you believe it. And I'll post it in the little text box above so you could recite it. I love money. I always have enough money. Money helps me to live comfortably. Money is a means to an end. I deserve to live well. I give myself permission to spend. I will not feel guilty about spending. Isn't that a great mantra? Okay. There's so much more I want to expand on the subject, but people are on their way to work, and if you feel free. So my next live chat is going to be how we give our healing powers away with physical health. I'm going to try to do that next week. I was hoping to do it tomorrow, but I'm getting on a plane at 7 in the morning. So unless I could do it from the airport, I might have to postpone. So have a good day. Think about what energy you are vibrating. This is really key. Be aware if you are vibrating desperate energy. Switch it to vibrating positive. I'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye.